Imagine a world where the ground beneath your feet is no longer solid, where the rules you've always known suddenly don't apply. What if the reality you've meticulously constructed is about to crumble? This isn't just another doomsday prophecy. This is a warning about February 2025, a date that could change everything you thought you knew about the world. This reality collapse isn't about physical destruction. It's about the breakdown of the systems, beliefs, and norms that have defined our society for generations. We're talking about failing institutions, economic instability that could wipe out your savings, and increasing social division, tearing apart families and communities. It's that unsettling feeling that things just aren't normal anymore, and that the stability you've always counted on is an illusion. February 2025 isn't some predetermined doomsday, but rather a potential focal point, a culmination of trends already in motion, like a perfect storm gathering on the horizon. Geopolitical tensions are reaching a boiling point, economic cycles are hinting at a major correction, and technological advancements, particularly in AI and surveillance, are poised to mature, all converging around that time. It's a period of heightened uncertainty, a moment where rapid transformation becomes not just possible, but inevitable. History teaches us that established orders don't last forever. The Roman Empire crumbled, giving way to new kingdoms. The Renaissance shattered medieval dogma, ushering in an age of art, science, and humanism. The Industrial Revolution transformed agrarian societies into urban behemoths, for better or worse. These shifts weren't always smooth. They brought chaos, upheaval, and suffering. But they also paved the way for new possibilities. This reality collapse is a double-edged sword. It carries the potential for chaos, suffering, and loss, things we should work to avoid. But within that chaos lies opportunity, the chance for positive change, a collective awakening to build something better, something more aligned with our values. The choice is ours. We can succumb to fear and become victims of circumstance, or we can seize our agency and shape the outcome. Consider how this potential collapse could impact your life directly. Your finances could be wiped out in a market crash. Relationships could strain under the pressure of social division. Your health could suffer as access to resources diminishes. The very fabric of your day-to-day existence is at stake. The erosion of established structures can lead to a loss of individual freedoms, increased surveillance, and centralized control. Think about it: governments might implement stricter regulations, corporations could exploit the chaos for profit, and your personal autonomy could be severely compromised. We see governments making these power grabs every day. Self-reliance, critical thinking, and informed decision-making are now more crucial than ever to preserve your autonomy in the face of increasing control. Understanding the nature of this reality collapse isn't just about intellectual curiosity. It's about empowering yourself to navigate the challenges ahead and create a better future for yourself and your loved ones. Seeking truth, questioning assumptions, and developing a deeper understanding of the forces shaping our world are no longer optional, they're essential survival skills. Because with knowledge, the path forward becomes much more clear. You aren't just a passive observer in this unfolding drama. You are an active co-creator of your own reality. What if our collective consciousness, our shared thoughts and intentions could actually shape the future, even amidst seemingly insurmountable challenges? Imagine the possibility of creating a more positive, sustainable world, built on cooperation and compassion. But what if the very reality we perceive is not as solid as we believe? What if reality is actually a construct shaped by our beliefs, experiences, and the information we consume? It's a radical idea, but one worth considering. Reality may be far more malleable than we've been led to believe. And who controls the narrative that shapes our perceptions? Consider the role of media narratives, propaganda, and even outright censorship in shaping public perception and manipulating collective consciousness. The information we consume, or are denied, becomes the lens through which we see the world. Seeking diverse sources of information and developing critical thinking skills are crucial to discern truth from falsehood and to break free from the chains of manipulation. Could hidden agendas and unseen power structures be actively contributing to this reality collapse? What if certain groups or individuals are deliberately manipulating society for their own benefit, orchestrating events behind the scenes to consolidate their power? Understanding these power dynamics is essential to effectively counter them and reclaim our collective destiny. Imagine if all of humanity became aware of the forces manipulating them. And what if everything is connected? What if our thoughts, emotions, and actions have a ripple effect on the world around us? What if there's a collective consciousness, a shared field of awareness that we all contribute to, and that, in turn, shapes our reality? What if everything you thought you knew about the world was wrong? What if reality is not what it seems, and February 2025 holds a deeper mystery, a hidden layer of complexity that we're only beginning to glimpse? Is there more to February 2025 than meets the eye? Are there hidden agendas at play, prophetic timelines converging, or unknown factors about to surface? The reality collapse may be a wake-up call, an invitation to question established norms, challenge authority, and create a more authentic and equitable society. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into the economic factors that could trigger this collapse, exploring the vulnerabilities in the global financial system and what you can do to protect yourself. What if the very fabric of reality is a code, a set of rules and parameters that govern our existence, much like the lines of code that dictate the behavior of a computer program? The laws of physics, for instance, could be seen as fundamental rules of this program, dictating how matter and energy interact. Societal norms, though less rigid, function similarly, shaping our behavior and expectations within the social game. Even our own limiting beliefs can act as self-imposed rules, confining us within the boundaries of our own mental programming. Understanding that reality may function as a program offers a radical proposition. If we can understand the rules, can we learn to debug or even reprogram our experience? Think of the speed of light, a universal constant. While we can't break this rule within the current framework, understanding it allows us to develop technologies that approach its limits. Similarly, money operates as a rule within the economic game. Learning these rules allows you to engage with the game more skillfully. Consider how your own limiting beliefs have held you back. By identifying and challenging these beliefs, you begin to rewrite your internal code, opening up new possibilities. Language and symbols play a crucial role in creating and reinforcing societal narratives within this program. Words are not merely labels. They are tools that shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. The way a concept is framed can drastically alter our perception of it. Think about the term collateral damage, a sanitized phrase used to describe civilian casualties in war. This euphemism serves to distance us from the human cost of conflict, making it easier to accept. Advertising is a powerful example of how language is used to create desires and manipulate consumer behavior. Catchy slogans and carefully crafted narratives can convince us that we need products we never even knew existed. National flags, religious symbols, and corporate logos all carry symbolic weight, evoking emotions and reinforcing group identity. Recognizing the power of language and symbols allows us to become more conscious consumers of information, less susceptible to manipulation, and more capable of shaping our own narratives. Building on this, consider the concept of memes, not just in the modern internet sense, but as units of cultural information that spread through society, shaping our beliefs, values, and behaviors. A catchy song, a viral video, a popular phrase, these are all memes that can influence our thoughts and actions, replicating through society. Political campaigns skillfully employ memes in the form of slogans and sound bites to capture the public's attention and influence their voting decisions. Conspiracy theories, whether true or false, can also spread like wildfire, shaping people's understanding of events and their distrust of institutions. Understanding how memes operate allows us to become more aware of the information we are absorbing and disseminating, and to consciously choose which memes we want to propagate. This brings us to the critical importance of critical thinking, the ability to analyze information objectively, identify biases, and discern truth from falsehood. In a world saturated with information, much of it designed to manipulate, critical thinking is an essential survival skill. Fact-checking websites are valuable resources for verifying information, but critical thinking goes beyond simply checking the facts. It involves questioning assumptions, seeking diverse perspectives, and considering the source of the information. Media literacy education can equip us with the tools to analyze media messages and identify propaganda techniques. Philosophical reasoning provides a framework for evaluating arguments and identifying logical fallacies. By honing our critical thinking skills, we can become more discerning consumers of information, less susceptible to manipulation, and more capable of forming our own informed opinions. Now, let's turn our attention to the economic and geopolitical trigger points that could converge around February 2025, accelerating the reality collapse. The global financial system is built on a foundation of unsustainable practices, such as fractional reserve banking, where banks lend out more money than they actually hold in reserve, and debt-based currency, where money is created through debt. This creates a system that is inherently unstable and prone to crises. The 2008 financial crisis was a stark reminder of the fragility of the system, and many of the underlying problems remain unaddressed. The rise of cryptocurrencies can be seen as a response to this instability, an attempt to create an alternative financial system that is decentralized and independent of government control. The growing national debt in many countries is another cause for concern, as it threatens to destabilize economies and lead to inflation. These economic vulnerabilities could be triggered by a variety of factors, such as a sudden increase in interest rates, a default by a major debtor nation, or a loss of confidence in the financial system. Geopolitical tensions are also reaching a boiling point, with potential flashpoints erupting around the world. The conflict in Ukraine has already had a significant impact on global energy markets and supply chains. Tensions in the South China Sea could escalate into a military conflict, disrupting trade and further destabilizing the region. Political instability in the Middle East, fueled by religious and ethnic conflicts, could lead to further disruptions in oil production and global security. These conflicts could escalate into larger wars, potentially involving nuclear weapons, or disrupt global supply chains, leading to shortages and price increases. The rise of nationalism and protectionism, driven by economic anxieties and cultural tensions, further exacerbates these geopolitical risks. Central banks, like the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, and international organizations, such as the World Economic Forum and the United Nations, play a significant role in shaping global economic and political policies. Quantitative easing, a policy used by central banks to inject money into the economy, has been criticized for inflating asset prices and exacerbating inequality. The Great Reset Initiative, proposed by the World Economic Forum, has sparked controversy over its potential impact on individual liberties and national sovereignty. The Sustainable Development Goals, adopted by the United Nations, have been criticized for promoting a globalist agenda that undermines national interests. These economic and geopolitical factors could converge around February 2025, creating a perfect storm of instability. A major economic downturn could coincide with a military conflict, creating a global crisis that overwhelms governments and institutions. A cyber attack could disrupt critical infrastructure, such as power grids and communication networks, leading to widespread chaos. A pandemic, whether natural or man-made, could trigger widespread social unrest as people lose faith in government and healthcare systems. It's not about predicting a specific event. It's about recognizing the potential for multiple crises to converge and create a period of rapid and unpredictable change. Amidst all of this, it's important to remember the power of collective consciousness, the idea that our individual thoughts, emotions, and intentions contribute to a shared field of awareness that can shape reality. When enough people focus their attention on a particular outcome, it can increase the likelihood of that outcome occurring. The power of prayer or meditation to influence events has been documented in numerous studies. The impact of social movements on political change demonstrates the power of collective action to transform society. Groupthink is a negative example, where a desire for harmony in a group results in irrational or dysfunctional decision-making. To navigate this reality collapse, inner work is essential. Focusing on personal growth, self-awareness, and emotional regulation will build resilience. Techniques like meditation and mindfulness can help manage anxiety and fear. Therapy can provide tools for processing trauma and developing healthy coping mechanisms. Cultivating positive relationships offers a support system during times of stress. It is about finding calm in the chaos. Conscious co-creation is the ability to consciously shape our own reality and contribute to a more positive world. Aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with our values and intentions becomes paramount. Manifestation techniques, creative visualization, and positive affirmations are tools that can be used to focus our energy and attract desired outcomes. By consciously choosing our thoughts and actions, we can become active participants in shaping our own lives and the world around us. This reality collapse can also be viewed as a spiritual awakening, an opportunity for profound personal transformation. The breakdown of old structures can pave the way for a new era of consciousness and enlightenment. Near-death experiences often lead to a profound shift in perspective, as people gain a new appreciation for life and a deeper understanding of their own spirituality. Mystical experiences can provide glimpses into the interconnectedness of all things and the nature of reality. The teachings of spiritual masters throughout history offer guidance on how to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. In light of all this, what practical steps can we take to navigate this potential collapse? Financial preparedness is crucial. Diversifying investments can help protect against market volatility. Reducing debt can free up resources and reduce stress. Investing in precious metals or cryptocurrencies can provide a hedge against inflation. Developing alternative income streams can provide a safety net if your primary source of income is disrupted. Increasing self-sufficiency and resilience can make you less dependent on centralized systems. Growing your own food can provide a source of sustenance if supply chains are disrupted. Learning survival skills, such as first aid and self-defense, can increase your ability to cope with emergencies. Developing alternative energy sources, such as solar panels, can reduce your reliance on the power grid. Building community networks can provide mutual support and resilience during times of crisis. Community building and mutual support are essential for navigating the challenges ahead. Connecting with like-minded individuals can provide a sense of belonging and shared purpose. Participating in mutual aid initiatives, such as food banks and community gardens, can help strengthen local communities. Creating intentional communities can provide a model for sustainable living and collective governance. Finally, become an active participant in shaping the future. Get involved in local politics to advocate for policies that align with your values. Support sustainable businesses that prioritize people and planet over profit. Advocate for social justice to create a more equitable and inclusive society. Spread awareness about important issues to educate others and inspire action. Even amidst seemingly insurmountable challenges, individual actions can make a difference. Our collective intentions have the power to shape the future. Reject the role of passive victim and embrace your power as an active co-creator of your own reality. The reality collapse can be a catalyst for positive change, leading to a more just, sustainable, and conscious world. Take responsibility for your own life and the world around you. Embrace your inner power and potential. Join together to create a better future for all. In our next segment, we'll explore the specific steps you can take today to safeguard your well-being amidst the coming changes. Let's delve deeper into the nature of time itself, for our perception of it profoundly impacts how we anticipate and navigate the future, particularly the potentially transformative period of February 2025. We typically perceive time as linear, a straight line stretching from past to present to future. But what if this is a limited, even artificial, construct? Ancient philosophies, from the Mayan calendar to Hindu yugas, viewed time as cyclical, with recurring patterns and recurring errors. Astrology suggests that planetary alignments create repeating cycles of influence. Even theoretical physics flirts with the concept of time loops and the possibility of navigating time as a dimension. If time isn't a fixed line, but a series of repeating patterns or a dimension we can move through, then the future isn't predetermined. Instead, it becomes a range of possibilities, influenced by our choices in the present. Think of it like a record player. The needle may move in a circle, returning to a similar point, but where it lands within that revolution, and the sound it produces, depends on the specific grooves it encounters. Could February 2025 simply be a point where numerous cyclical grooves converge, creating the potential for amplified change? Now, consider that various historical, economic, and astrological cycles might be converging around February 2025. The Kondrativ wave, a long-term economic cycle of boom and bust, suggests we are nearing a period of potential economic upheaval. Solar cycles, which influence weather patterns and communication systems, may be reaching a peak of activity. Planetary alignments, as interpreted by astrologers, could be creating a nexus point of intense energy. If these cycles are indeed converging, February 2025 could become a potent catalyst for change, amplifying existing trends and triggering unforeseen events. Imagine several rivers converging at a single point. The combined force of their currents will be far greater than any individual stream, capable of carving new channels and reshaping the landscape. The convergence of these cycles suggests that February 2025 holds the potential for similarly dramatic shifts on a global scale. To further understand this, consider the distinction between chronos and kairos. Chronos is linear, chronological time, the ticking clock, the calendar dates. Kairos, on the other hand, is the opportune or decisive moment, a time of heightened potential and significance. February 2025 may represent a kairos moment, a critical juncture where our choices and actions have an amplified impact on the future. Think of a historical battle that changed the course of a war or a personal turning point that altered the trajectory of a life. These were kairos moments, where decisions made in a concentrated period had far-reaching consequences. If February 2025 is indeed a kairos moment, it demands our conscious attention and intentional action. However, it's crucial to avoid a fatalistic view of these cyclical events. Even if cycles suggest potential challenges, they don't dictate a fixed outcome. We possess agency, the ability to influence the direction of these cycles through conscious awareness and intentional action. Understanding economic cycles can help us make informed financial decisions, mitigating potential losses and capitalizing on opportunities. Harnessing the energy of astrological alignments can empower us to make positive changes in our lives. By becoming aware of these cyclical patterns, we can prepare ourselves for potential challenges and proactively shape the future. Think of a surfer riding a wave. They cannot control the wave itself, but they can use their skill and knowledge to navigate it, avoiding a wipeout and harnessing its power to reach their destination. Let's shift our focus to the manipulation of perception. Our senses, though seemingly reliable, only capture a limited range of reality. The electromagnetic spectrum, for instance, extends far beyond the colors we can see. Our brains filter and interpret this sensory input, potentially distorting our perception of the world. Optical illusions demonstrate how easily our brains can be tricked. What we perceive as reality is, in fact, a carefully constructed interpretation of limited sensory data. Consider how differently a dog perceives the world through its sense of smell, or how a bat navigates using echolocation. These examples highlight the limitations of our human senses and the potential for alternative realities beyond our direct perception. This brings us to the concept of psychological warfare, the use of propaganda, misinformation, and other psychological techniques to manipulate public opinion and behavior. Governments, corporations, and other entities employ these tactics to control the masses, often exploiting fear, division, and distraction. The use of propaganda during wartime is a classic example, but these techniques are also prevalent in advertising, political campaigns, and social media. The creation of fake news and the manipulation of social media algorithms are modern manifestations of psychological warfare. Consider how easily people can be swayed by emotional appeals or how quickly misinformation can spread online. Recognizing these manipulation tactics is crucial for protecting our mental sovereignty and maintaining a clear perception of reality. Sensory overload and information bombardment further complicate matters. The constant barrage of information and stimulation in modern society can overwhelm our senses, making it difficult to discern truth from falsehood. Social media, with its endless stream of notifications and updates, can be particularly overwhelming. The constant exposure to negative news can lead to anxiety and depression. Think of it like trying to drink from a fire hose. The sheer volume of information makes it impossible to absorb anything meaningful. Limiting social media consumption, practicing mindfulness, and spending time in nature can help us filter information and protect our mental well-being, allowing us to regain control over our perception. These manipulation techniques could be amplified around February 2025, creating a specific narrative or controlling the response to events. A manufactured crisis could be used to justify increased government control, or a coordinated disinformation campaign could sow discord and confusion. The key is to remain vigilant and critically evaluate the information we consume, especially during times of heightened uncertainty. Consider historical examples of false flag operations or propaganda campaigns designed to manipulate public opinion. By learning from the past, we can better prepare ourselves for potential manipulation attempts in the future. Remember, a healthy dose of skepticism is a valuable asset in navigating a world saturated with information. Now, let's explore the intriguing possibility of cracks in the simulation. Anecdotal evidence suggests that reality may not be as fixed as we think. Déjà vu experiences, where we feel like we've lived through a moment before, can be unsettling. The Mandela effect, where large groups of people share false memories, challenges our understanding of shared reality. Unexplained synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too improbable to be random, hint at a deeper interconnectedness. Paranormal phenomena, while often dismissed, continue to intrigue and defy conventional explanation. While these examples are anecdotal, they invite us to question the solidity of our perceived reality. Think of it like a computer program with occasional glitches or errors in the code, momentarily revealing the underlying structure. Scientific theories also challenge conventional notions of reality. Quantum physics, with its concepts of quantum entanglement and the observer effect, suggests that reality may be more fluid and interconnected than classical physics implies. The double-slit experiment demonstrates that the act of observation can change the behavior of particles. Quantum entanglement suggests that particles can be linked across vast distances, instantaneously affecting each other. The holographic universe theory proposes that our reality is a projection from a deeper, more fundamental level of existence. While these concepts are complex, they challenge our assumption that reality is fixed objective, and independent of our consciousness. They suggest a reality far more malleable and mysterious than we typically perceive. The breakdown of societal narratives and institutions further hints at a potential shift. The increasing distrust in governments, media, and other established institutions suggests that the program of society is breaking down. The rise of alternative media reflects a growing dissatisfaction with mainstream narratives. The increasing polarization of society indicates a loss of shared understanding. The decline in trust in traditional authority figures suggests a questioning of the established order. These trends could signal a broader reality collapse, a disintegration of the shared beliefs and assumptions that hold society together. Think of it like a building with cracks in its foundation. The structure may appear stable on the surface, but the underlying weaknesses threaten its integrity. Could February 2025 be a potential tipping point for these anomalies, a period when these cracks in the simulation become more visible and widespread, leading to a significant shift in collective perception and potentially accelerating the reality collapse? Imagine a sudden increase in unexplained phenomena, a widespread loss of faith in the system, or a collective awakening to the true nature of reality. These events could trigger a cascade of changes, leading to a fundamental transformation of society and consciousness. While the future remains uncertain, the convergence of these factors suggests that February 2025 holds the potential for a significant shift in our collective experience. Ultimately, amidst the potential challenges and uncertainties, it's imperative to remember and reclaim your sovereignty, your inherent power to shape your own reality. Our individual consciousness has a direct impact on our experience, regardless of external circumstances. The power of positive thinking, the placebo effect, and the impact of collective intention on global events all demonstrate the influence of our minds on the world around us. Even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, our thoughts, emotions, and intentions hold immense creative power. Think of your mind as a garden. What you plant and nurture will ultimately determine what grows. To consciously cultivate your inner landscape, consider techniques for reprogramming your subconscious mind. Identify and overcome limiting beliefs, negative thought patterns, and other mental programming that may be holding you back. Affirmations, visualization, meditation, shadow work, and cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, are all valuable tools for transforming your inner world. By consciously choosing your thoughts and beliefs, you can rewrite your internal code and unlock your full potential. Think of it like upgrading the software on your computer. By installing new programs and deleting old ones, you can improve its performance and expand its capabilities. Cultivate self-reliance, critical thinking, and emotional resilience. Becoming less dependent on external systems and more capable of navigating challenges from a position of inner strength is key. Learn survival skills, build community networks, practice mindfulness, and develop emotional regulation techniques. By strengthening your inner resources, you can weather any storm and emerge stronger, more resilient, and more empowered. Think of it like building a fortress. By fortifying your defenses, you can protect yourself from external threats and maintain your inner peace. Embrace this potential reality collapse as an opportunity for personal and collective transformation. Take responsibility for shaping your own reality and co-creating a better future. Connect with like-minded individuals and build a supportive community. Remember that even in the face of uncertainty, the power to create positive change lies within each of us. This isn't about predicting doom. It's about recognizing the potential for profound change and empowering ourselves to navigate it consciously and intentionally. Next, we will look at specific strategies and actionable steps for navigating these times. Building that inner fortress and cultivating self-reliance becomes even more critical when we consider the subtle ways our expectations are being shaped, a phenomenon known as predictive programming. Think of it as a form of social engineering, where the public is subtly conditioned through media movies, TV shows, books, even video games to accept future events or societal shifts as inevitable, even desirable. It's not about predicting the future with certainty, but rather about planting seeds in the collective consciousness, shaping our perceptions, and normalizing specific outcomes so that when, or if they occur, they are met with a sense of resignation or even acceptance, rather than outrage or resistance. Consider the prevalence of dystopian themes in recent popular culture. Films like The Hunger Games, with its stark depiction of social control and resource scarcity, or Blade Runner 2049, showcasing a technologically advanced yet deeply unequal society, aren't just entertainment. They subtly familiarize us with these scenarios, making them seem less far-fetched, more plausible. TV shows like Black Mirror explore the dark side of technology, presenting scenarios of mass surveillance and social manipulation that, while fictional, resonate with existing anxieties about the erosion of privacy and autonomy. Even video games like Cyberpunk 2077 immerse players in worlds of corporate control and societal breakdown, normalizing these themes through interactive experiences. The psychological effects of this constant exposure can be profound. Repeated exposure to violent or disturbing content can desensitize us to real-world violence, diminishing our empathy and making us more accepting of aggression. The normalization of surveillance technologies in media, often presented as tools for security or convenience, can erode our concerns about privacy and freedom. The constant portrayal of political division and social unrest can create a sense of helplessness and resignation, leading us to believe that these problems are insurmountable. It's like being slowly boiled in a pot. The temperature rises gradually, and we don't realize the danger until it's too late. Now, consider the timing of these narratives. While dystopian themes have always been present in media, their prevalence and intensity seem to have increased significantly in recent years. Could this be a coincidence, or is it part of a larger, perhaps unconscious, effort to prepare the public for potential events around February 2025? Are specific plot points or narrative themes appearing with greater frequency and intensity as that date approaches? Perhaps it's the increasing economic inequality mirrored in films about class warfare, or the rise in stories about pandemics and social isolation, reflecting current anxieties. Are these simply reflections of existing trends, or are they subtly shaping our expectations for what is to come, making a potential reality collapse seem more believable, more acceptable? But what confluence of events could actually trigger such a reality collapse? Let's consider a plausible, though unsettling, scenario that combines several of the themes we've discussed. Imagine a major cyber attack targeting critical infrastructure, like the banking system or the energy grid, coinciding with a military escalation in Eastern Europe and a wave of protests against government policies, all converging around February 2025. This isn't a prediction, but a plausible illustration of how various factors could intertwine. The cascading effects of such a scenario could be devastating. The cyber attack could trigger a financial crisis, leading to bank runs, economic collapse, and widespread panic. The military conflict could disrupt global supply chains, leading to shortages of essential goods, skyrocketing prices, and further economic instability. The protests, fueled by economic hardship and political polarization, could escalate into riots, civil unrest, and even martial law. Imagine the scene. ATMs running dry, empty shelves in grocery stores, streets filled with protesters and police, the internet intermittently down, and a constant stream of alarming news reports fueling fear and uncertainty. And what about the potential for black swan events, those unforeseen and unpredictable occurrences that could further exacerbate the situation? A natural disaster, like a massive earthquake or a devastating hurricane, could overwhelm already strained resources and infrastructure. A terrorist attack could trigger a wave of fear and paranoia, leading to increased government surveillance and restrictions on civil liberties. A political assassination could destabilize governments and further fuel social unrest. These black swan events could act as accelerants, turning a crisis into a full-blown catastrophe. It's crucial to remember that this is just one possible scenario, not a prediction of what will happen. The future is not fixed, and there are countless other possible outcomes. This scenario is presented simply as a plausible illustration of how various factors could converge around February 2025, creating a perfect storm of crises. Acknowledging that there are many alternative futures, we must understand that preparation and awareness are paramount, regardless of the precise form events may take. But what if these events weren't simply the result of unforeseen circumstances or unfortunate coincidences? What if they were, at least in part, engineered? This leads us to the darker possibilities of false flag operations and engineered chaos. A false flag operation is a covert action designed to deceive the public into believing that it was carried out by someone else, often to justify a political agenda or military intervention. Consider, for example, the Gulf of Tonkin incident or the Reichstag fire. While these events remain shrouded in controversy and varying interpretations, they serve as cautionary tales about the potential for governments to manipulate public opinion through deception. Creating a state of fear and uncertainty can make people more susceptible to manipulation and control. Governments or other powerful entities might exploit this vulnerability to advance their agendas. Manufactured crises can justify increased surveillance powers, eroding civil liberties in the name of security. Social divisions can be exploited to consolidate political control, pitting different groups against each other and distracting them from the real power structures at play. A common enemy, whether real or fabricated, can be used to unite the population behind a particular cause or leader, even if it means sacrificing individual freedoms. Could the events of February 2025 be engineered to create a specific outcome, such as the implementation of a new world order or the suppression of dissent? Could a staged terrorist attack be used to justify martial law, paving the way for increased government control and the suspension of constitutional rights? Could a fabricated economic crisis be used to implement a global digital currency, further centralizing financial power and eroding individual sovereignty? Could a manufactured pandemic be used to enforce mandatory vaccinations and digital IDs, tracking and controlling the population under the guise of public health? Therefore, it becomes imperative to question official narratives, seek diverse sources of information, and develop your own informed opinions. Be vigilant against propaganda, manipulation tactics, and the emotional appeals designed to bypass your critical thinking abilities. A healthy dose of skepticism is essential in navigating a world saturated with information, especially during times of heightened uncertainty. Remember, the truth is often hidden beneath layers of deception, and it requires diligent effort and independent thought to uncover it. Ultimately, our individual and collective consciousness possesses the power to override these manipulative forces, regardless of their intent. By harnessing the power of our minds, we can choose a different timeline, one that leads to positive change and collective well-being. The power of prayer and meditation, the impact of collective activism on social change, and the potential for conscious co-creation of a more desirable future all demonstrate the influence of our minds on the world around us. Even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, our thoughts, emotions, and intentions hold immense creative power. Therefore, consciously choose thoughts and beliefs that support your well-being and the well-being of others. Cultivate a mindset of abundance and possibility, focusing on solutions rather than problems. Practice positive affirmations, visualizing a future you want to create. Reframe negative thoughts, challenging their validity and replacing them with more empowering perspectives. Practice self-compassion, treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially during times of stress and uncertainty. February 2025 is not a fixed date of doom, but a potential catalyst for transformation. We are the active agents, not passive bystanders. But what role might technology play in either accelerating or mitigating such a crisis? Specifically, the rapidly evolving capabilities of artificial intelligence present us with a double-edged sword. On one hand, AI offers unprecedented opportunities to enhance human capabilities, solve complex problems, and create a more efficient and equitable world. Imagine AI algorithms analyzing climate data to develop more effective strategies for mitigating climate change, or our iPod medical diagnostic tools that can detect diseases earlier and more accurately, or even AI systems that can personalize education to meet the individual needs of each student. These are just a few examples of how AI could be used for good, improving our lives and addressing some of humanity's greatest challenges. Yet, on the other hand, AI also presents a significant risk, a potential instrument of control, surveillance, and manipulation. Consider the development of our iPod autonomous weapons that can make life-or-death decisions without human intervention, or AI surveillance systems that can track our every move, collecting vast amounts of data about our habits, preferences, and social connections, or AI algorithms that can be used to manipulate public opinion, spread propaganda, and suppress dissent. These are not futuristic fantasies, but real possibilities that are rapidly approaching, demanding careful consideration. This duality begs the question: will AI be a force for liberation or a tool for oppression, or perhaps both, depending on who controls it and how it's used? Consider the immense power AI holds in processing and manipulating vast datasets. AI algorithms can sift through oceans of information, identify patterns that would be invisible to the human eye, predict our behavior with alarming accuracy, and ultimately influence our decisions in subtle yet profound ways. Think about the algorithms that power social media platforms, filtering information and creating echo chambers that reinforce our existing beliefs, making it harder to encounter alternative perspectives. Or consider our AI-driven marketing campaigns that target consumers based on their psychological profiles, using personalized messages to exploit their vulnerabilities and manipulate their purchasing decisions. And what about AI surveillance systems that track our movements and activities, collecting data that could be used to profile us, discriminate against us, or even anticipate our future actions? The potential for AI to be used to manipulate public opinion, target individuals with propaganda, and suppress dissent is immense, raising serious concerns about the future of democracy and individual freedom. This capability for hyperanalysis of mass data means that AI has a very real ability to not only predict social trends, but to manufacture them. What happens to free will when our choices are analyzed, predicted, and subtly nudged by unseen algorithms? Adding another layer of complexity, AI can now create deepfakes and synthetic realities, blurring the line between truth and fiction. AI algorithms can generate realistic but entirely fabricated videos, images, and audio recordings that can be used to spread misinformation, damage reputations, or incite violence. Imagine a deepfake video of a political leader making false statements, designed to sway public opinion during a critical election. Or consider our AI-generated news articles that spread misinformation about a public health crisis, fueling panic and distrust. And what about virtual reality simulations that create immersive but artificial experiences, blurring the line between the physical and digital worlds, potentially leading to confusion and disorientation? The challenges of detecting deepfakes are immense, and the potential for them to erode trust in media and institutions is profound, creating a world where it becomes increasingly difficult to distinguish between what is real and what is not. If seeing is no longer believing, then what can we trust? Given this context, consider the timeframe of February 2025. The increasing sophistication and deployment of AI technologies could play a significant role in shaping the events of that time, whether as a tool for managing a crisis, a weapon for social control, or a source of confusion and misinformation. Imagine AI algorithms being used to censor information online, suppressing dissenting voices, and controlling the narrative during a period of social unrest. Or consider our iPod surveillance systems being used to monitor protests, tracking activists, and identifying potential troublemakers, chilling free speech and assembly. And what about deepfake videos being used to manipulate public opinion during a political crisis, inciting violence or justifying government intervention? It's crucial to be aware of AI's potential impact and to develop strategies for mitigating its risks, ensuring that this powerful technology is used for good, not for ill. How can we ensure AI serves humanity rather than the other way around? But it's not just external technologies that can shape our perceptions. We must also consider the internal programming that influences our thoughts and behaviors. Neurolinguistic programming, NLP, is a powerful set of techniques that can be used to reprogram subconscious thought patterns and influence behavior. NLP works by identifying and modifying the language patterns, beliefs, and emotional associations that shape our perception of reality. For example, specific language patterns can be used to create rapport and build trust, making us more susceptible to influence. Anchoring techniques can be used to associate emotions with products or ideas, creating powerful subconscious connections. And hypnotic suggestions can be used to bypass conscious resistance, planting ideas directly into our subconscious mind. These techniques are widely used in advertising, marketing, and political messaging to manipulate emotions and create desired responses, often without our conscious awareness. How can we recognize and resist these subtle forms of manipulation? Adding another layer of complexity, our own cognitive biases can distort our perception of reality. Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment, tendencies that can lead us to make irrational decisions, reinforce existing beliefs, and ignore contradictory evidence. Confirmation bias, for example, leads us to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, while filtering out information that challenges them. The bandwagon effect causes us to adopt beliefs or behaviors that are popular, even if they contradict our own values or beliefs. And the availability heuristic leads us to overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled, such as those that have been widely publicized in the media. These biases can distort our perception of reality, making us more susceptible to manipulation and less able to make informed decisions. By understanding these biases, we can begin to challenge them and develop a more objective perspective. So, how do we reclaim our minds and resist these forces of manipulation? Fortunately, there are practical techniques we can use to identify and overcome mental programming. Practicing mindfulness, observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, creates a space for us to recognize the patterns and biases that influence our perception. Seeking out diverse perspectives, challenging our existing beliefs, and engaging with people who hold different viewpoints broadens our understanding and helps us to avoid echo chambers. Using critical thinking skills, analyzing information objectively, questioning assumptions, and verifying sources of information are essential for discerning truth from falsehood. By cultivating these skills, we can become more resilient to manipulation and make more informed decisions. What daily practices can you implement to strengthen your mental defenses? Therefore, understanding these manipulation techniques can help us resist the potential for social engineering and mind control that might intensify around February 2025. Maintaining mental resilience, a clear and objective perspective, and resisting the urge to panic or conform to popular opinion are all crucial for navigating uncertain times. Recognizing propaganda and misinformation, questioning official narratives, and trusting our own judgment are essential for maintaining our autonomy and making informed choices. Cultivating a sense of inner peace and stability amidst chaos allows us to remain grounded and centered, even when the world around us seems to be falling apart. By strengthening our mental defenses, we can protect ourselves from the forces that seek to control us and create a more resilient and empowered future. And as we fortify our minds, let's consider strategies for building parallel systems that can function independently of potentially compromised centralized authorities. Decentralization offers a powerful means of resisting centralized control, distributing power and authority across a network of individuals and communities. This principle can be applied to various aspects of society, such as finance, communication, and governance, creating more resilient and equitable systems. Decentralized finance, DeFi, and cryptocurrencies offer alternatives to traditional banking, allowing individuals to control their own money and bypass centralized financial institutions. Decentralized social media platforms resist censorship, allowing for free and open communication without fear of government or corporate interference. Decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, enable community-based governance, allowing individuals to participate in decision-making processes and shape the future of their communities. How can we leverage decentralization to build a more resilient and equitable world? Decentralized technologies have the potential to disrupt existing power structures, challenging the authority of governments, corporations, and other institutions. Blockchain technology, for example, provides a secure and transparent ledger for recording transactions, making it difficult to manipulate or censor information. Peer-to-peer networks enable uncensored communication, allowing individuals to bypass traditional media outlets and share information directly with each other. DAOs empower communities to make decisions collectively, creating more democratic and accountable systems of governance. These technologies offer the potential to create more transparent, accountable, and democratic systems, shifting power from centralized authorities to individuals and communities. Moreover, building parallel systems involves taking practical steps to create alternative solutions and communities that operate outside of the control of centralized authorities. Supporting local businesses and farmers' markets strengthens local economies and reduces dependence on global supply chains. Creating community gardens and food coops promotes food security and reduces reliance on industrial agriculture. Joining mutual aid networks provides support and resources to individuals and families in need, building community resilience and self-reliance. Participating in alternative education initiatives empowers individuals to learn and grow outside of the traditional education system. By taking these proactive steps, we can create alternative systems that provide a buffer against the potential disruptions of February 2025. Ultimately, building decentralized systems and communities now provides a foundation for a more resilient and equitable future, protecting us from potential disruptions. Establishing alternative communication networks ensures that we can stay connected and informed even in the event of internet shutdowns. Creating local currency systems insulates us against economic collapse, allowing us to transact and trade even if the traditional financial system fails. Building community resilience through mutual aid and preparedness initiatives ensures that we can support each other and navigate challenges together. Rather than relying on existing systems that may be vulnerable or compromised, we can take proactive steps to create alternative solutions that empower us to thrive, regardless of what the future holds. In this journey, cultivating our inner resources becomes paramount. Developing our intuition, that inner compass, will be essential for navigating the complex and potentially confusing events of February 2025. Intuition is a form of inner knowing that can provide guidance and insight when rational analysis is limited, a subtle sense of knowing that goes beyond logic and reason. recognizing a sense of unease or discomfort when exposed to misinformation, experiencing a strong intuitive pull toward a particular course of action, and receiving unexpected insights or inspiration through dreams or meditation are all examples of how intuition can guide us. By trusting our gut feelings, we can tap into a deeper source of wisdom and navigate uncertainty with greater confidence. How can we strengthen this vital inner faculty? There are many practical techniques for cultivating intuition. Practicing mindfulness and meditation quiets the mind, creating space for intuitive insights to emerge. Spending time in nature connects us with our inner wisdom, allowing us to tap into the natural rhythms and cycles of life. Journaling records and analyzes intuitive insights, helping us to recognize patterns and develop trust in our inner guidance. Tools like tarot cards or pendulums access subconscious knowledge, providing symbolic representations of our inner landscape. By experimenting with these techniques, we can enhance our intuitive abilities and develop a stronger connection with our inner compass. Coupled with intuition, the power of discernment guides us in evaluating information and making decisions. Discernment is the ability to distinguish between truth and falsehood, good and evil, and right and wrong, requiring critical thinking, diverse perspectives, and trust in our inner compass. Questioning assumptions, verifying information from multiple sources, recognizing logical fallacies, and identifying emotional manipulation tactics are all essential for discerning truth from falsehood. Seeking diverse perspectives, engaging with people who hold different viewpoints, and challenging our own biases broadens our understanding and helps us to avoid groupthink. By cultivating these skills, we can make more informed decisions and navigate complex situations with greater clarity and confidence. Therefore, cultivating intuition and discernment will be essential for navigating the complex and potentially confusing events of February 2025. Trusting our own inner guidance, avoiding being swayed by fear, propaganda, or groupthink, and discerning between genuine acts of kindness and manipulative tactics will be crucial for making wise choices and protecting ourselves from harm. Using intuition to identify credible sources of information, discerning between authentic leaders and manipulative demagogues, and trusting our gut feelings when making important decisions in a crisis will help us to navigate the challenges ahead with greater resilience and wisdom. As we hone our intuition and discernment, we must also consider forces beyond our immediate perception that might influence human affairs. Could unseen entities or energies existing outside our everyday awareness be playing a role in the unfolding reality collapse? While this may sound like science fiction, many ancient traditions spoke of spirits, deities, and other non-physical beings that interact with the human world. Even today, some theories suggest the existence of interdimensional beings or the influence of a collective unconscious. While the speculative nature of this topic should be acknowledged, dismissing such possibilities out of hand may leave us vulnerable to influences we do not understand. What if these forces are not just passive observers, but active participants in the events unfolding around us? It's worth pondering whether these unseen forces possess the ability to manipulate human consciousness, either directly or indirectly. Perhaps they influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors through energetic manipulation, exploiting our vulnerabilities, or even through technological interference. We can find examples of this throughout history, from claims of demonic possession in religious texts to modern reports of alien abduction and theories about mind control through technology. Even the subtle nudges of social media algorithms could be seen as a form of influence, shaping our perceptions and beliefs in ways we don't fully realize. Note that these are just possibilities and thought experiments to help expand one's thinking. Given the potential for unseen forces to influence human affairs, we should consider the possibility that some malevolent entities might be exploiting the reality collapse for their own purposes. If chaos and disruption are opportunities for certain entities, it's conceivable that they might actively exacerbate the situation to further their agendas. Beliefs in parasitic entities that feed on negative energy, theories about elite bloodlines worshipping dark gods, and claims of a hidden war between benevolent and malevolent forces all touch upon this possibility. While these ideas may be unsettling, considering them can help us become more aware of potential dangers and develop strategies for resisting negative influences. If such forces are indeed at play, it's reasonable to hypothesize that they might be particularly active around February 2025, attempting to capitalize on the increased instability and uncertainty to further their agendas. A surge in paranormal activity, an increase in reports of unusual sightings, or a wave of fear and negativity sweeping through the population could be indicators of such activity. Awareness of these potential influences can empower us to resist their manipulation and hold firm to our vision for a positive future. Recognizing the signs is the first step towards mitigating their potential impact. Adding another layer of complexity, let's explore the concept of the Akashic Records and the potential for timeline manipulation. Imagine a universal database containing all thoughts, actions, and experiences that have ever occurred in the universe, a non-physical repository of all knowledge. This concept, known as the Akashic Records, or the Book of Life, appears in various spiritual traditions, including the readings of Edgar Cayce and theosophical beliefs. Consider this. If such a database exists, could it be possible to access and even alter past events, creating ripple effects that change the present and future? While this idea may seem like science fiction, it raises intriguing questions about the nature of time and causality. Theoretical physics explores the concept of retrocausality, where future events can influence past events. Science fiction often portrays the idea of changing the past, and such changes can lead to unintended consequences. But what if advanced technologies or esoteric knowledge could be used to manipulate timelines, creating preferred outcomes for certain individuals or groups? Is it possible that timeline manipulation could contribute to the reality collapse by destabilizing the existing timeline? Think about the potential implications of timeline manipulation. Could secret societies be manipulating history behind the scenes, using advanced technology to alter reality and shape events to their advantage? Such interventions, even with good intentions, could have unforeseen consequences, creating unintended ripples that destabilize the fabric of reality. The potential for abuse is significant, raising serious ethical questions about the responsibility that comes with such power. If timeline manipulation is indeed possible, then February 2025 could be a period of intense activity, with different forces vying to shape the future according to their own agendas. Increased reports of the Mandela effect, strange synchronicities, or a sense that time is speeding up or slowing down could indicate such activity. Therefore, holding a clear intention for a positive future can counteract negative influences and help to steer the timeline towards a more desirable outcome. Focusing on the world you want to see can be a powerful tool. Now, let's examine how our societal values are being deliberately undermined through a process of spiritual inversion, where traditional moral principles are reversed, with good portrayed as evil and evil as good. This creates confusion and moral decay within society. We see this happening across multiple societal tiers, including in the media, education, and political narratives, which are systematically eroding values such as honesty, integrity, responsibility, and respect. For instance, the promotion of moral relativism suggests that there are no absolute truths, while the normalization of destructive behaviors makes it harder to distinguish between right and wrong. And rewriting history to fit a particular agenda can distort our understanding of the past and make it more difficult to learn from our mistakes. What are the long-term consequences of such inversion? The erosion of traditional values is contributing to social division, political polarization, and a general sense of moral decay. which weakens the fabric of society and makes it more vulnerable to collapse. The rise of identity politics emphasizes differences rather than commonalities, while the increasing polarization of society makes it more difficult to find common ground. The erosion of trust in institutions further undermines social cohesion, leaving us more vulnerable to manipulation and control. Therefore, we must not underestimate the danger of spiritual inversion. Perhaps the reality collapse could be a culmination of this spiritual inversion, with the breakdown of moral order leading to widespread chaos and suffering. Rising crime rates, social unrest, and political instability could be seen as symptoms of this underlying moral decay. Emphasizing the importance of reclaiming traditional values and promoting a positive vision for the future is essential for building a more resilient and sustainable society. What steps can we take to restore a sense of moral order in our communities? Ultimately, the challenges of the reality collapse boil down to a fundamental choice between fear and love. Fear leads to separation, control, and destruction, while love leads to connection, compassion, and creation. Think about how fear-based responses to crises, such as hoarding and aggression, exacerbate problems, while love-based responses, such as sharing and cooperation, can help to find solutions. Recognizing this fundamental duality is the first step toward making more conscious choices. Governments, corporations, and other institutions often exploit fear to maintain control, using fear-mongering to manipulate public opinion, justify oppressive policies, and maintain their power. The use of fear to promote war, the exploitation of economic insecurity to justify austerity measures, and the use of surveillance technology to deter dissent are all examples of this tactic. Resisting this manipulation requires courage, critical thinking, and a commitment to truth. Recognizing these patterns can help us reclaim our power and resist manipulation, highlighting the potential for love, compassion, and empathy to heal divisions, overcome challenges, and create a more just and sustainable society is more vital than ever. Acts of kindness and generosity in the face of adversity, the power of forgiveness to heal past wounds, and the potential for collective action to create positive change all demonstrate the transformative power of love. What if we chose love over fear in every interaction? The events of February 2025 will likely present us with an opportunity to choose between fear and love, offering a pivotal moment. Responding to crises with compassion and cooperation rather than fear and aggression, building community and supporting each other rather than turning against each other, and creating a more positive and sustainable world based on love and compassion will determine the outcome of the reality collapse and shape the future of humanity. It's time to step into this responsibility with open hearts and minds. Your choices matter, and they will influence the collective destiny. 26. The converging lines. Economic, geopolitical, AI, the fragility of our economic systems, the escalating geopolitical tensions across the globe, and the relentless advancement of artificial intelligence are not isolated incidents. They are converging lines on a single, terrifying graph, a perfect storm gathering on the horizon. Debt is spiraling, inflation is eroding purchasing power, and the potential for a major economic shock looms large. Simultaneously, geopolitical conflicts are intensifying, with resource scarcity and power struggles creating a tinderbox ready to ignite. Layered on top of this is the rapid development of AI, which is being weaponized for surveillance, control, and even warfare. These three forces are amplifying each other, creating a threat matrix of unprecedented complexity and danger. Imagine a Venn diagram. One circle represents economic vulnerability, characterized by unsustainable debt levels and inflationary pressures. Another depicts geopolitical instability, fueled by resource wars and power struggles. And the third represents the unchecked advancement of AI, with its potential for misuse in surveillance and autonomous weapons systems. Where these circles intersect, we find the greatest danger a confluence of factors that could trigger a catastrophic reality collapse. It is vital to realize how each domain exacerbates the others in a self-reinforcing cycle, each turn of the screw tightening the pressure on our collective future. Economic downturns lead to social unrest, prompting governments to deploy our iPod surveillance to monitor and control populations. Geopolitical conflicts disrupt supply chains, driving up inflation and exacerbating economic hardship, leading to further instability. It's a runaway train, picking up speed as it barrels towards the unknown. Consider the specific ways AI is being used to exploit these vulnerabilities. Sophisticated algorithms are already employed to spread misinformation about economic conditions, creating artificial panics or manipulating markets for profit. Our iPod bots are being deployed to interfere in elections, sowing discord and undermining democratic processes. And our AI-driven cyberattacks are increasingly targeting critical infrastructure, threatening to disrupt essential services and paralyze entire societies. For example, we've already seen AI utilized to create deepfake videos of political leaders, spreading false information and potentially inciting violence. Now, imagine these capabilities amplified and unleashed in the lead-up to February 2025. The potential for chaos is staggering. These are not isolated incidents, but rather symptoms of a deeper systemic problem. Our global system is unsustainable, inequitable, and inherently prone to crisis. To truly understand the challenges we face, we must look beyond the individual symptoms and address the underlying disease. Where, then, is the point of control? 27. The global stage, and it's easy to feel powerless in the face of these immense global forces. Overwhelmed and insignificant, you might wonder what difference one person can possibly make. These feelings are understandable and, frankly, completely normal. The scale of the challenges we face can be daunting, even paralyzing, but succumbing to despair is not an option. The truth is that even seemingly small actions, when multiplied across millions of individuals, can create a tidal wave of change. The key is to identify specific, actionable steps that you can take to regain agency within your own sphere of influence. Start by supporting local businesses, investing in your community, and fostering economic resilience at the grassroots level. Participate in community organizing, connecting with your neighbors, and building networks of mutual support. Practice conscious consumerism, making informed choices about the products you buy and the companies you support. Engage in peaceful activism, speaking out against injustice and advocating for positive change. And above all, educate yourself and others about the critical issues we face, sharing information and fostering critical thinking. Each of these actions, while seemingly small in isolation, contributes to a larger movement towards a more just and sustainable world. This isn't about trying to control the entire global stage. It's about taking responsibility for your corner of it. Remember, individual actions, when combined with the efforts of others, can create a powerful force for change. Connecting with like-minded individuals and building strong community networks is crucial. Join local community groups, participate in mutual aid initiatives, and create intentional communities where you can share resources and support each other. Support grassroots movements that are working to address the root causes of our problems. The power of collective action cannot be overstated. When people come together with a shared vision and a commitment to positive change, anything is possible. Ultimately, the most important shift we can make is from external control to internal empowerment. While we may not be able to control global events, we absolutely can control our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Focus on cultivating inner resilience, developing critical thinking skills, and living in alignment with your values. Practice mindfulness, cultivate gratitude, and surround yourself with positive influences. Remember, your inner world is your sanctuary, and it is from this place of inner strength that you can make the greatest difference in the world. Take back control. 28. Beyond the visible spectrum, let's revisit the concept of unseen forces and their potential influence on events. As we explored earlier, forces beyond our everyday perception may be at play, influencing events on Earth in ways we don't fully understand. Whether you call them spirits, energies, interdimensional beings, or simply aspects of consciousness beyond our current comprehension, it's important to remain open to the possibility of unseen influences. Dismissing such possibilities out of hand could leave us vulnerable to manipulations beyond our awareness. What if these forces are not merely passive observers, but active participants in the unfolding drama? If these unseen forces exist, our collective consciousness can act as a shield against malevolent influences, as we mentioned earlier. The power of human intention, focused and directed, is a force to be reckoned with. Cultivate positive thoughts, emotions, and intentions to create a protective field of energy around yourselves and the planet. Practice gratitude for the blessings in your life, even amidst the chaos. Cultivate compassion for all beings, recognizing our interconnectedness. And practice forgiveness, releasing the anger and resentment that can fuel negative energies. These practices, when performed with intention and consistency, can create a powerful energetic barrier against negative influences. Perhaps the reality collapse is a catalyst for a widespread spiritual awakening, a cosmic wake-up call designed to shake us out of our complacency and force us to confront the deeper truths of existence. Consider this. Near-death experiences often lead to profound shifts in consciousness, as do mystical experiences and encounters with the divine. The teachings of spiritual masters throughout history consistently point to the illusory nature of the material world and the transformative power of awakening to our true nature. What if the challenges we face are simply opportunities for growth, designed to help us transcend the limitations of our current reality? We must remind ourselves that humans are incredibly powerful beings who have simply forgotten their true potential. We are capable of creating profound change, shaping our world, and even controlling reality itself. But we have been conditioned to believe that we are powerless victims of circumstance. Reclaiming this knowledge is essential to navigating the reality collapse and creating a positive future. Connect with the concept of the law of attraction, understanding that our thoughts and emotions shape our reality. Believe in your power to create, and the universe will conspire to support your vision. Your potential knows no bounds. 29. Rewrite the future. The future is not fixed, but a range of possibilities, a vast ocean of potential timelines stretching out before us. February 2025 is not a predetermined date of doom, but rather a potential turning point, a fork in the road where we can choose to move towards a brighter future or descend further into darkness. The future is still being written, and each of us has the power to influence its direction. Envision a positive future for humanity, a world based on peace, justice, sustainability, and compassion. Imagine a world where everyone has access to clean water, healthy food, quality education, and meaningful work. Imagine a world where conflicts are resolved through diplomacy rather than violence, where technology is used to enhance human well-being rather than to control and manipulate us, and where we live in harmony with nature rather than exploiting it for profit. Hold this vision in your mind, nurture it with your thoughts and emotions, and allow it to guide your actions. The collective intention of millions of people holding a clear and consistent vision of a better world can create a powerful force for change. As we focus our energy on creating a positive future, we attract the resources and opportunities needed to bring that vision into reality. We become co-creators of a new reality, shifting the timeline towards a more desirable outcome. Remember, your thoughts are powerful, your emotions are magnetic, and your intentions are the seeds of creation. Plant them wisely. Embrace the potential of February 2025 as an opportunity to rewrite the future. Embrace the challenges of the reality collapse as a catalyst for growth, transformation, and positive change. Take action in your own life. connect with others in your community, and hold a clear vision for the future you want to create. And to help you understand even more about what you can do to not only survive but thrive, be sure to watch the next video where we provide even more steps to take control of your life. 1. Knowledge culmination. Reclaiming power in a shifting world, the reality collapse, as we've explored, isn't some distant, abstract threat, but rather a very real breakdown of outdated systems, a demolition of the structures that no longer serve humanity. February 2025 represents a potential focal point, a time when these pressures reach a critical mass, amplifying existing vulnerabilities and exposing hidden agendas. But what we must not forget is this. The revelation of unseen forces manipulating our perceptions is not a cause for fear, but an invitation to awaken our own intuitive abilities. The recognition of these patterns isn't a sign of impending doom, but a key to unlocking our collective power. The reality collapse isn't an ending, but an opportunity to build something better from the ground up. These economic vulnerabilities, the geopolitical tensions, the unchecked advancement of AI, and most importantly, the spiritual implications aren't isolated threads. They're interwoven strands in a complex web. Economic instability fuels social unrest, prompting governments to employ upward surveillance, while geopolitical conflicts disrupt supply chains, driving up inflation and exacerbating economic hardship. This creates a feedback loop, a cyclical pattern of crisis and control. Recognizing this interconnectedness allows us to see the bigger picture, understanding that these challenges are not random events, but symptoms of a deeper systemic imbalance. What's important to remember is that the cyclical nature of history teaches us that periods of collapse are often followed by periods of innovation and renewal, offering opportunities for change. The future is not fixed. Even as these global systems teeter on the brink, we retain the power to choose our thoughts, emotions, and actions. The future will be shaped by the collective choices we make in this very moment. Choosing love over fear, compassion over division, and hope over despair are not just sentimental ideals. They are powerful forces that can reshape reality. Understand that your individual choices, when multiplied across a global population, can create a tangible shift in the direction of society, like a single drop creating ripples across a vast ocean. Your perspective matters. Shift it to seeing yourself as an active co-creator in this unfolding drama. 2. Significance framework. Beyond February 2025, the reality collapse, while seemingly a catastrophic event, can also be seen as part of a larger evolutionary process, a necessary purging before humanity can ascend to a new level of consciousness. Throughout history, societies have undergone periods of upheaval and transformation, often triggered by crises and challenges. The reality collapse may be a catalyst for a collective awakening, the birthing pains of a new era of peace, justice, and sustainability. We can choose to view it as a curse or a blessing. Each of us holds a crucial role in shaping this future, taking ownership of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, aligning our lives with our values, and embracing our potential as changemakers is vital. We are not merely passengers on a runaway train. We are the engineers capable of redirecting its course. Remember, you have the ultimate control, the ability to choose your response to whatever unfolds. This ties directly into the law of attraction. By focusing on positive outcomes, we can collectively manifest the best possible timeline. Fear and anxiety attract negative experiences, while hope and optimism attract positive ones. The power of collective intention can shift reality, creating a brighter future for all. What's in your control is your intention and your focus. Remember that, and the possibilities are endless. 3. Resolution architecture. Embracing the unknown, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. February 2025 brings with it fear and uncertainty. The future is unwritten, and there may be challenges ahead. But this uncertainty is not a cause for despair, but an opportunity for growth, creativity, and innovation. Remind yourself of the power of preparedness, of taking practical steps to safeguard your well-being and the well-being of those around you. Remember the initial questions and anxieties raised at the beginning of this exploration. The underlying question, will things be okay, can be answered with a resounding yes, but with a crucial caveat. If we embrace our collective ability to navigate these challenges, the inherent strength and resilience of the human spirit is undeniable. We have overcome countless obstacles throughout history, and we are capable of creating a better future, no matter what the future holds. It is possible to be happy, even during turbulent times, and it's important to remember that tough times are often the breeding ground for human creativity and ingenuity. Community and connection are vital in these times. By connecting with like-minded individuals, building supportive relationships, and creating strong networks, we become stronger together. Mutual support and collaboration are essential for navigating the reality collapse. Restate and celebrate the power of community as a source of strength, a lifeline in a sea of uncertainty. 4. Expansion framework. The journey continues. The information we've explored here is just the beginning. There's much more to learn, much more to uncover. Seek out diverse sources of information, question everything, and develop your own informed opinions. Don't blindly accept what you're told, but rather engage in critical thinking and independent research. There is no limit to what is yet to be discovered. To aid you in your continued exploration, I've included links to relevant websites, books, articles, and organizations in the description below. These resources can help you deepen your understanding of the issues discussed and take action in your own life. Take these actionable steps and embrace the new possibilities they unlock. But what if the nature of reality goes deeper than we can currently imagine? What if the true origins of humanity, consciousness, and technology are far more complex and mysterious than we've been led to believe? And if so, what could that mean? In the next video, we'll delve into some truly mind-bending concepts. We'll explore the possibility that our entire reality is a simulation, a carefully constructed illusion designed to keep us trapped. And we'll examine the evidence that suggests we may be able to hack the system and break free from the control matrix. So stay tuned and get ready to question everything you think you know.